We start the second period here in Syracuse the same way we began the first. Scoreless between Syracuse and Lindenwood. Eddie McCarthy alongside Evan Harrington. A lot of that playoff intensity on display in that first period, in that there really wasn't that much room out there.
Yeah, not at all. And Lindenwood already with 7 blocked shots so far this evening, taking away a lot of the chances that Syracuse looked to create in that first period. And we talked about playoff intensity in the first intermission. Players going to be putting their bodies on the line. A lot of checking so far, and that's what you like to see here in the later stages of the regular season, is that intensity ramping up to playoffs.
Would you expect it to open up a little bit?
I would definitely say I would expect it to open up a little bit, only because now both of these teams have a little bit of a sense for one another, and they know what every line can do or will do. So I definitely expect it to open up a little bit, but still expect that intensity along the boards in a full 200-foot game.
Charlotte Hallett speeds after it, beats Weeks to the puck. Hallett in behind the net, comes out to the far side half boards. Lindenwood up the wall, not out, held in by Gendron. She and Henderson battle as Todd supports, and Charlotte Hallett is hurt as she skates slowly off the ice. Keep an eye on that. Hallett was pretty much using the rail to support herself as she slowly limped to the bench. Henderson carries back in for Lindenwood. Centering pass tipped wide by Klein. Gendron's pass goes off the stick of Corto, and she moves back for Lindenwood. Drop pass for Borner. Cycles it around behind for Corto. Stick check by Gendron. Down low for Yellowfly. Up the near wall for Corto. Nearly a minute and a half played here in the second period as this puck slides in on Drabeck, and she puts the trapper over it.
And you see the intensity continuing offensively for Lindenwood. Even though that puck was saved by Ava Drabeck, you saw number 20, Tatum Yellowfly, just continuing to poke at Drabeck's glove, because that second chance opportunity, you never know when it's going to be there, so you got to love the anticipation by Yellowfly.
Fiala able to one-hand the puck up ahead for Gennady, and she pedals through center ice. Emma Gennady crosses the Lindenwood line, and a shot kicked away by Secreto, and she got the rebound too. Best look so far for Syracuse.
And what a display of goaltending by Secreto. We talked about Drabeck and how good she's been all season long, but Secreto stepping into more of a full-time role as the #1 goaltender for Lindenwood, and deservingly so after back-to-back saves there on Gennady.
Secreto making her 3rd straight start, won both against Delaware last weekend. And like we said back in the first period, and you touched on it too, did not start the season as the #1 goalie. That spot went to Maddie Botel. But Secreto has cemented herself as the #1, Taylor Wasilk said. Blikova for Lindenwood. Puck rolls off her stick, and Pazmandi goes back to center ice. Ziliaks up for Blikova, and touched on to Ziliaks. French Olympian goes down low, centers out in front for Pazmandi, and a good stick by Chung to deny that opportunity. And another penalty coming up here against Syracuse, and for the second time in this game, Jocelyn Fiala is going to go. The call is a hold, and Lindenwood will be going back to the power play.
Yeah, going back to the chance here by Emma Gennady, a quick shot there, the second chance opportunity, but Secreto does a nice job of sticking with it and reading Gennady well and shutting down the opportunity, the best chance of the game 5-on-5 for Syracuse so far.
Blikova slides back to the left point on the power play, while the normal defenseman, Josie Weeks, she plays forward in the one-time spot on the right side as Lindenwood wins the draw. 0 for 1 so far on the power play. Weeks goes down low, it gets by Henderson. Pazmandi back to Henderson as the Lions set up to the quarterback Mushedre. Weeks. Delays watched by Terviden. Charlotte Hallett back out there, which is good to see on defense for Syracuse. Blikova for Henderson. Pazmandi's out high. Dished off for Mushedre. All the way through, a shot by Weeks and a glove save by Drabeck.
And that's a nice job by Ava Drabeck of just reading that well. Weeks had a great look there on the near dot, and Drabick, once again, just staying calm, cool, and collected in between the pipes, reading the play well and shutting down the chance by the captain. But having Charlotte Hallett back out onto the ice, one of the best PK players for head coach Brittany Smith, is a huge addition back to this penalty kill.
This is cleared the length of the ice by Jessica Chung, as just 34 seconds for the top power play unit for Lindenwood. Number 2 on now is Kinsler, or beg your pardon, that's Mick Todd, putting on some good forechecking pressure behind the net on the kill, and now she heads off for a change. And replaced by another one of Syracuse's excellent penalty killers, and the captain, Nea Tervanen. Minute played on Lindenwood's second power play. Lions struggling to set up in the zone. And a whistle here. The linesman spotted it. That's Seamus Andrews. And we'll have a neutral zone face-off.
Yeah, and Eddie, we touched on it in the intermission about the winner of this game could come down to who wins the special teams battle. And this is the second power play for Lindenwood, as you mentioned. So the Orange are going to have to do another job, 50 seconds, to just kill this off. Cannot allow Lindenwood to go up 1-0 with the extra skater in hand.
Centering feed for Weeks, and she shunted the shot. Beautiful cross-crease pass. Here is Weeks, 30 on the power play towards goal. It's blocked by Gendron. Does it better than anybody for Syracuse, the block shots leader. Blikova onto the back to the quarterback, Mushedre. Blikova, it's around Tervanen. Mushedre inside Pazmandi, knifed away from her to the stick of Blikova with 15 on the power play. Tatiana Blikova below the goal line, out high for Weeks. Looking for a lane, goes down low. In front, Weeks, that was blocked again by Gendron. Terrific penalty kill from 15 in white, Sammy Gendron for Syracuse.
And we talked about it, you're gonna need your seniors to come up big in these late regular season games, and doing that there was Sammy Gendron.
Here's Hannah Dodds, Canadian forward for Lindenwood, and Darcy picks up the puck behind the net for the Cuse. Indirect pass behind Todd, and Petrucia regroups at center ice. Dump in goes off of Kinsler, and they scrum forward on the near side, whipped across by McLeod. And Lindenwood is offsides.
But going back to the penalty kill for Syracuse, there was not one player that was on the ice shorthanded for the Orange that did not make an impact for Syracuse. They did a phenomenal job. It was a full team effort, and you know, we highlighted Sammy Gendron, the captain, just again putting her body on the line. We saw a lot of it in the first period, but playing against these AHA conference opponents, it's going to take a lot of putting your body in front of pucks and, you know, maybe getting a couple bruises here and there, because when playoff hockey's on the line, you gotta be willing to risk it all.
And it seems like they're doing a better job this week compared to last, clearing the front and letting Drabeck see. Here's Heidi Knoll behind the net for Syracuse. She had a goal last weekend in the first game against Penn State. McLeod back to Darcy, able to hold the line. And a shot goes off of Petrucia, and Secreto seals it off, as some argument from the Lindenwood players that should have been offsides.
I will say that was real close, but you gotta credit Maya Darcy with her ability to just walk the line and keep this in play. That was close. We'll leave that up to the officials, but a Syracuse bounce in on goal is going to allow them to set up an O-zone face-off, and it's a good chance here 5 minutes into the period.
Face-off win in the defensive zone by Lindenwood. Here's Rhea Flint. Pass intercepted at neutral ice by Jocelyn Fiala, who's taken 2 penalties already today. Tervanen pokes it free behind the net. Kicked at by Costabile. There's a stick on the ice. Belongs to one of the Lindenwood players. Chung walks in, and her shot is deflected up into the mesh. A good thing for Lindenwood, as the Lions were playing 5-on-4.5 with no stick for Corto.
And the thing that I liked by Jackson Kinsler there was she was trying to set herself in front of the net, but that stick was in her way. So she sent it all the way back to the far point in front of the Syracuse bench. So high IQ play there by Kinsler, not allowing Lindenwood to have 5 sticks on the ice until the whistle came too.
Off the face-off, Tervanen wins it for Syracuse, and Costabile fanned on it. Kinsler out to the point for Wiegand. Down low for Kinsler, dodges the referee. Kinsler being worked over by Flint. Costabile comes in to support. Tervanen's out high. Lions come away with the puck after the boards battle. Near side, Polonyova. Darcy holds the line. Kinsler and Flint again tangle. Big check by Kinsler. Tervanen jostling for the puck, and Lindenwood moves it out to center, but Wiegand tried to throw it back into the zone and ended up tossing it into the bench.
And still early in this second period, Eddie, but we're kind of seeing a lot of the same that we saw in that first period. Real tight hockey, and you know, both teams not allowing one another to get free as we talked about, and have that grade A scoring chance. Both teams have had a couple of nice chances, but no real grade A look as of yet.
Syracuse looking for one here with Riley McLeod. McLeod, turnaround shot, goes off the side of the cage. Dodds with some time and space for Lindenwood. Good stretch pass for Josie Weeks. One-on-one on Walsh, and she moved laterally at the blue line, which is a no-no. Offsides for Lindenwood. The one place on the ice you can't move east to west.
Right, and you'll see that once again. Lindenwood has been negated a few times by some offsides, and then stopped a few of their rushes, but they've done a nice job of battling through that. But if you're Lindenwood, you gotta have a little bit of better communicational skills getting over the line, because those rushes can kind of make or break a scoreless game, as we have here.
Petrusha checked hard by Riley McLeod, and she's slow to get up behind the play. It is physical out there and getting testy.
Yeah, that was probably one of the biggest hits I've seen in conference play for a Syracuse player, that being Riley McLeod, all season long, and that's just the type of hockey we're going to see, you know, being played here the rest of the way.
Gendron wraps it around the boards. Lindenwood players are changing. They've almost been caught with too many players on the ice a couple of times, and they avoid it again right there. Borner down low takes a spill. Henderson for Weeks. The captain spins away for Lindenwood. You got 3 black jerseys on the near wall. Gennady for the orange. She's got blue and up ahead, using her speed to cross the Lindenwood line. Gennady funnels a puck towards goal, and a knuckler is knocked ahead by the Lions, and Borner moves past the red line, a dangle around Armstrong. Drifts to the outside, stays on her feet, and swung one across the goal mouth. Good look there from Borner, as Borner's got it behind the net, trying to bank it in off of Drabeck, who had no idea where it was. Comes to the circle. Drabeck makes the save, as they're still trying to dig it out, and finally it comes to Chung, who makes a stretch pass for Armstrong, as Syracuse has numbers. Armstrong crosses the line and then stumbles, and Syracuse squanders an opportunity, or maybe not. Wraparound chance is sealed off by Secreto, as give Armstrong credit for a decent recovery there, although Syracuse really would have liked the shot off the rush.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good rush chance. It was a 3-on-2, numbers in favor for Syracuse. But going back to this point, Ava Drabeck had no idea where that puck was. It was worked from low to high, as you see, but a nice job by the Syracuse defense to clear that one. And then here's the chance. You see Armstrong going down, Gennady playing it back in front, but the save made by Secreto, stopping that look. But a couple of nice chances from low to high for both squads over the last couple of moments.
Goaltenders have been perfect so far. Lindenwood wins another defensive zone draw. Jackson Kinsler trying to keep the puck alive. Tervanen applying forecheck pressure. Costabile steals a pass in the corner. Here comes Tatiana Blikova, 2 against 2 for Lindenwood, moving out with Pazmandi. Back for Blikova, she shoots, and a glove save by Drabeck, and she holds with 11 even to go here in period 2.
And that's really the first time here this game, Eddie, that we've heard the name Tatiana Blikova. The Orange have done a nice job of kind of shutting her down a bit so far, but she had a great look from the far side dot, and Drabeck makes the nice routine save. But, you know, Blikova, anytime that she has the puck on her stick in a scoring lane, you got to watch out, because that hat trick last week for her.
Blikova had the hat trick on Saturday, and Henderson scored all 3 on Friday in the 3-2 win against Delaware. So one might say Molly Henderson 3 and Delaware 2. Out high, they go D to D for Petrusha. Petrusha walks down and walks in, and a shot is blocked as it comes to Yellow Fly. Stick check by Walsh and another penalty. Walsh got her stick tied up, and she is heading to the box. And Lindenwood going to the power play for the third time.
Yeah, this is just something Syracuse cannot afford to take right now, is another penalty, because the 5-on-5 play has been very even up to this point, and they've gotten through the 2 penalties that Lindenwood has had, and you'll see it there for cross-checking 2 minutes, but it's just, you're putting yourself in a bad spot if you are the Orange, because we talked about it. If a team can break through on the special teams side of things, they can have a great chance to win this game.
Lindenwood starts with their second power play unit on the ice, and Kinsler steals the puck and moves out for Syracuse. Joined by Teravainen, tried to leave it for Teravainen, and Polonyova took it away on the back check. Michaela Polonyova leads the rush for Lindenwood, freshman from Hungary with lots of speed. Puts the brakes on at the circle, and the Lions set up back to the point for Corto. Near side, Gunderson. Delays, shoots, looking for a tip from Klein. Wasn't too far away as Klein goes back to her. Corto walks in, shoots, deflected. They score, no! Well, the referee at the side of the net thought the puck was in and pointed at the goal. Instead, it was stuck on the back of the net. And I think they're gonna talk about it. Make sure that they confirm what each other saw. Are they going to take a look at this?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Eddie, that even threw me off. I was right there with you. I thought this was a goal. You'll see the puck being worked from the near point over to the far point. The shot by Corto, deflected.
Nah, it's off that's the back of the net.
Back of the net for sure.
Just the wrong kind of the back of the net.
Yeah, it almost looked like from this overhead angle that it went from the far post and in the back of the net, but obviously not in the back of the goal, just on the back of the goal, not in the back of the goal. A little bad wordplay there.
Another face-off win for Lindenwood. Mick Todd on the penalty kill at forward with Costabile. Can't win the puck, comes free to Henderson. Weeks, fake the one-timer. Mouchedre. Pazmandy, saucer pass for Weeks. Minute gone on the power play. Weeks, picked up by Blikova. Bodied by Gendron. Henderson on the puck. Here's Weeks. Costabile applying pressure on Henderson. Comes back to the point for Weeks. They reset. Blikova walks in. Curls back. Henderson, no stick. Heads to the bench and is replaced by Polonyova. Pazmandy. Delays at the dot, stick handles, below the goal line, in front, Pazmandy, Mr. Polonyova shoots, that gets blocked. Swallowed up by Costabile, and the cue's clear.
Yeah, just a gritty shift there by the Syracuse penalty kill, and got an effort. Number 2, Stella Costabile, number 22, Charlotte Hallett, both of those to put their body in front of pucks and just battling hard along the boards to just stop chances on the power play for Lindenwood.
Kinsler for Teravainen. Jackson Kinsler's trailing the play as Teravainen is 1-on-4 right now. Teams are back to 5-on-5. Syracuse 3 for 3 on its penalty kill. Power play struggles for Lindenwood continue. Here's Kinsler. Orange trying to generate momentum from their kill. Up top for Wiegand. Kinsler down low, centering pass. The goaltender Secreto got a stick on it. Bump back for Wiegand. One-timer! Oh, it deflects just wide. Secreto never saw it, and it slithered just wide right. Here's Starlight. Watched there by McLeod. Riley McLeod takes the puck behind the net. Armstrong is breaking. They get it to her. Peyton Armstrong cuts in one-on-one. She shoots, and she just missed the top right corner. There was some room there, just a hair away from Peyton Armstrong. It's on a 3-game point drought. A shot is grabbed and held by Drabeck. Now we start to see some end-to-end action. 7.5 to go here in the second period. Scoreless between Lindenwood and Syracuse as we take a look at that last chance.
Yeah, here it is, far point. The shot from up top deflected by McLeod, just missing the goal there, and one of the better chances not only of this period but the entire game for the Orange, and then coming back shortly right after with the rush chance by Peyton Armstrong. So a couple of nice shifts there for Syracuse, trying to get something to go offensively in this scoreless game, 0-0.
Well, with Lindenwood coming to town, there is a familiar face coming with them, not necessarily on the ice, but behind the bench. With more, here's Andrew Delapiana.
That's right, Eddie. Arielle DeSmit making her return to Syracuse, played for 3 seasons here in the 3-1-5, and we know how important goaltending is as a scoreless game right now. But for DeSmit, as we mentioned, with those 3 seasons, phenomenal in her time here. She was actually here for the first 2 seasons with Brittany Smith, was a part of that championship team in the conference back in 2022. Also won goal of the year that season as well. And it's really come through this nice little lineage of goalies that Syracuse has had, whether it's Allie Kelly last year or now Ava Drabek. And when we spoke with Taylor Walsick before this week, her initial phone call with Arielle DeSmit went so well that DeSmit called her back 25 minutes after being interested and say, hey, we need a goalie on our staff. You'd be the perfect fit. And she has fit right in like a glove, guys.
Pretty quick decision time. Arielle DeSmit, a tremendous goaltender for Syracuse, and like Andrew said, the goalie the last time Syracuse went to the NCAA tournament in 2022. Wraparound chance here, out in front, Drabek makes the save, and it goes right through the blue paint. Looked innocuous enough, and Lindenwood nearly got themselves the first goal of the game. Icing here against the Cuse. They've had a puck on the back of the net, keyword on, just not in.
Yeah, and that was just reactionary awareness by Ava Drabek, just knowing that in her routine style of play that if she doesn't know where the puck is, maybe slide over to that back post, and she did that. Doing so, made the save, and another big-time save by the freshman netminder.
Here comes Bluen with Armstrong heading to the net. Jordan Bluen puts on the brakes, goes down low. Puck is free at the side of the net, and Secreto, well, she didn't cover it, but looks like the net came off its moorings, or the referee lost sight of it, or both, but Syracuse got an offensive zone draw out of it.
Yeah, going back to the chance for Lindenwood, once again, working strong below the goal line, and Drabek just moving over from that near post to far post. Lost the puck for a moment, but all that matters is what she made the initial save.
Both goaltenders fully into the game now as Heidi Knoll has the puck in the high slot. Sends down low, Mushedre grabs it for Lindenwood. Pass goes off the linesman, delayed offsides. Now Knoll able to go back into the zone and harass Molly Henderson. Under 6.5 to go here in the second period. Shots on goal, 16-14 Lindenwood. As here's Borner cutting in. Borner sends one through the goal mouth, out the other side, Heidi Knoll. 3-on-2 perhaps for the Cuse as Willamette chips ahead. And a good play by Corto, really strong on her stick to get away from the very tall McKenna Willamette. And a whistle here. And we're going to have too many men, or excuse me, too many players on the ice. I believe, just still not sure which team they got for it. That has not been made clear. It is going to be against Lindenwood. Both teams were kind of looking at each other there. Neither one was sure who was getting the power play, but Lindenwood has had a couple of dangerous changes, and they finally get burned.
Yeah, and this is a big opportunity here for the Orange. They have been on the PK 3 times so far in this game, and now a chance finally with the extra skater in hand. They have a chance to break this drought.
Darcy controls off the faceoff, who scored a power play goal last Saturday against Penn State. Maya Darcy circles the wagons, finds Celia Wiegand. Those two switch sides. Wiegand shoots, it's deflected just wide by Costabile. Teravanen shuttles back to Darcy. Near side for Heidi Knoll, and her shot knocked down and then covered by Secreto. Dropped it, but was able to pounce right back on top of it.
And when we talked to head coach Brittany Smith early in the week, she said just get pucks in on goal. It doesn't matter what look you have or if it's the best look or not. Get pucks in on goal, wear down the opposing penalty kill, and just set yourself up for success, and that's what the Orange have done here so far with the extra skater in hand.
Costabile retrieves the puck off the faceoff. Out high for Celia Wiegand. Wrist shot deflected en route, loose in front, and Knoll couldn't get a stick on it. Polonyova battling for the puck with a couple of Syracuse players. Orange fervently trying to work it free, 3 against 2 as Weeks just has it glued to the wall down there. 50 seconds killed so far on the too many players on the ice penalty that is being served by Yellow Fly. Good work here from Lindenwood, just killing time on the penalty kill as Weeks just has that puck wedged up against the boards, finally worked free. Here's Wiegand, shot right on the ice, and then it came to Knoll at the circle, but she couldn't get it into a shooting position. Darcy tried to go down low, Weeks can't clear. Darcy back in front, Weeks intercepts, and this time Lindenwood able to get it clear, but still not all the way down ice, so they cannot change. But now Armstrong called for offsides. 32 seconds on the power play.
Yeah, and a couple of good chances there for the Orange on the power play. But once again, you got to respect both of these teams' penalty kills because they're playing tight in front. And even when it looks like there is a chance for either team, in this case Syracuse, to capitalize on, it just seems like that there's a stick tied up in front or something along those lines is not allowing the Orange to get to that loose puck.
You get the sense it's going to be kind of a greasy goal that breaks the ice in this one?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, if it's just one fluttered from the point or in front, you never know.
Here's Gennady, works in, and a shot save made by Secreto. That looked like a lapse in coverage on the penalty kill from Lindenwood.
Yeah, that's the second time this game that Secreto is shut down Emma Gennady, and Gennady has had a chance earlier in the second, and now here you see Secreto out of the goal and just playing it up the far side half wall, and here's Gennady dancing her way in on goal and just trying to flip that one past the netminder, but a nice save by Secreto.
Darcy off the faceoff. Secreto spills a rebound. Pazmandi on it for Lindenwood. Penalty time is up. Yellow Fly back in the play, and Secreto again spit out a dangerous rebound.
Yeah, Nanny, that's a good point. There's been a couple of rebounds here that have been loose. Syracuse has to take advantage if they can.
Gennady behind the net for Syracuse. Out high, Wiegand flubbed the pass, and now Wiegand did well to get back and deny the opportunity for Blikova, who's been held in check thus far by Syracuse. 3.5 in the third. Blikova gets a stick on it to avoid the icing. Lindenwood going to work down low. Polonyova flagged down by Yellow Fly. Left for Polonyova. Down low, Yellow Fly, backhand on Drabeck, save made, and Drabeck able to hold on to the puck as Yellow Fly was really left alone at the side of the net.
Yeah, looking for her first career goal and a chance almost to do so in on goal. And the one thing Drabeck has done really well here this evening is just keeping her pad level down low and on the ice, not allowing for those pucks that are down low and on the ice to slip right by her.
AHA leader in saves came into the game approaching 700 and is 4th in the country in saves this year.
Yeah, I mean, those numbers are going to go up pretty easily when you're playing Penn State back-to-back games. You made 70 just a weekend ago.
2:45 in a still scoreless second period. 6 critical points on the line this weekend between Syracuse and Lindenwood. Syracuse in 4th, Lindenwood tied for 5th in the AHA standings. Here's Hallett going to the outside, using her height. Now goes back for Kinsler, who leaves it at the point for a shot by Gendron, doesn't make it through. Down low for McLeod. Syracuse makes a change in the offensive zone. Costabile bursts off the bench. Stick check by Weeks. McLeod supports the puck. Here's Costabile, centering pass. It goes all the way through. Out the other side, Jessica Chung, her shot right along the ice. And Lindenwood still can't clear. Good pressure from Syracuse. Kinsler shoots, and it's guided away by Secreto. Costabile on the retrieval. Some tired Lindenwood players out there, but Syracuse cannot capitalize as Fiala has to chase it down.
Something to note, Tatum Yellowfly went to the bench. She blocked the shot out in front, and not going to speculate, but hit a body part out in front and was just definitely holding that going towards the bench.
Look at the hustle from Costabile to negate the icing. 90 seconds here in the first period. Armstrong pinned against the boards. Puck comes free to the far side, and here's Henderson, who loses the puck. A lot of snow buildup on the walls at this stage in the period. Kinsler, bodied by Weeks. To his side down there as she works it free with Tervanen. Jackson Kinsler delays and tried to thread a pass through to Gendron, or beg your pardon, Wiegand. Wiegand goes aerially across and Weeks able to knock it down. Under a minute to play here in the second period. Can somebody break through? This is intercepted by Darcy. 2-on-1 for Syracuse. Darcy shoots and she hit the post. Lindenwood the opportunity now. The Lions may have numbers as Armstrong hustles back. Pazmandy able to walk in. Pazmandy dangles into the slot. She shoots. It's patted away by Drabeck. Up and down they go with 30 seconds to go here in the second. Wiegand sends the puck out of the rink with 25.8 on the second period clock. Exhale.
And Eddie, you brought it up. When would we see both of these teams starting to play more free? There it was. You had Maya Darcy with a great look just off the post. The best look of the period for Syracuse, but mention the point. When would we see both teams playing a little bit more free? It's the end of the period. That's when we are now seeing it.
Here's Gennady. Watched by Blikova. Those two go to the ice. 10 seconds to go in the period. Backhanded up the wall, but not out. Walsh steals her shot right along the ice. No stick for McLeod, and now a penalty coming up. This is going to be against Lindenwood. McLeod lost her stick. It was because it was slashed out of her hands.
And obviously this is going to be more applicable to the third period, but this is, again, another big spot for the Orange, unless they can somehow find a way to get one in 2.1 seconds. But not only do I think that they've been playing with a bit more of the momentum here late, it's carrying. And Eddie, out of the goal, Ava Drabeck. We're going to see the extra skater here for the final two.
Corto off for slashing. Let's see what Syracuse can draw up on the faceoff. Tervanen. It's loose in the referee's skate. She turns around and shoots. And it goes wide of the net. All right, so things really picked up there in the final 5 minutes and change of that first period, but we are scoreless after 40 minutes. Although, like you said, and we sometimes see that at the end of second periods, period of the long change, things do open up towards the end.
Yeah, it did open up indeed, not only for Syracuse, but for Lindenwood. The big chance that we saw it on the replay just a couple of moments ago for Maya Darcy. We talked about it in the open, how head coach Brittany Smith talked about this has been the best stretch of hockey she has seen out of Darcy in a Syracuse uniform, and that was a great display of that. Reading the play in the neutral zone and then joining the rush as a defenseman up the ice. She had a grade A look, just skimmed it off the bar, but what a chance for Darcy and the Orange.
Maya Darcy, her speed has allowed her to be all over the ice as Syracuse really let their speed go to work towards the end of that second period.
Yeah, and speed's going to be a big-time factor in this third period. You're going to start the period with a minute 58 on the power play, but this is a Lindenwood team that can play fast up and down the ice on a 200-foot pace, so Syracuse is going to have to match that through these final next 20 minutes coming up.
Well, and if you want to talk about lots of speed, talk to Jackson Kinsler, and she's with Andrew Delapiana.
That's right, Eddie. Jackson, your penalty kill, really impressive in that second period. What has worked so well on the way down?
You know, I think we're just sticking to what we're good at. We're being aggressive all around, being quick on their plays. We're doing a really good job of, being in the middle and reading where they're going. You know, that was all in our pre-scout, and we're executing it perfectly.
Your team has created a lot of good offensive chances. Where do you get that breakthrough, though?
You know, I think it's just going to come with, just getting one. We got to be a gritty team. I don't think they're going to give it up easy. They're so solid defensively. They backcheck really well, and I think it's going to come within the crease. I think we just got to dig in and bury one.
Thanks so much, Jackson. Thank
you so much.
Guys.
Thank you, Andrew. Jackson Kinsler a little bit out of breath, deservedly so. It was very up and down in the final 5 minutes and change of that second period. Still scoreless between Syracuse and Lindenwood after 2 periods of play here at the Tennedy Ice Pavilion.